Hi, writers. Welcome back to another writing lesson. So, today I want to remind you that we just learned how to write a letter. And writing our letter, we learned how to be very powerful and convincing. And so, today I want to teach you that we have to know just what to say when we are writing our letters. So first, I want to show you that when I wrote my letter, dear neighbors, if someone lives down the road from me just a little bit, they may say, well, I'm technically not her neighbor, so maybe this doesn't apply to me. So I don't think I should have to recycle. Do we want our message to say that? No, I want everyone to know that recycling is important. So maybe I can change my letter to say, Dear Californians. So maybe I want to make sure I'm reaching everyone in California. Dear Californians. Now my letter is addressed to every single person living in California. If you were writing a letter about school and running in the hallways, and you said, Dear classmates, maybe you could write Dear boys and girls, or Dear Bella Vista. You could change it to make sure your audience is very specific about who you are writing your letter to. All right? And I also want to teach you today that when you write a letter, you write many letters. So we don't just write one letter and hope things will change. We write a lot of letters, and maybe sometimes to different people, to make sure that everyone knows why our problem is important. So I would think to myself, if I was writing, who else can help me fix this problem? What do I need to tell this reader or that one? Do I need to write something different to them? So if I wanted to make this extra important, maybe I would write to the president and I would say, Dear President Donald Trump. And I don't think that my letter really addresses him the right way, so maybe I would write something new and I would say, thank you so much for being our president. I've seen that a lot of people don't recycle, and it's such a problem for us. And I want to know from you, what could I be telling the people around me that they can do to help solve the problem of recycling? So maybe I will ask, do you think it's important that I tell people to recycle when they see the symbol on their containers? Or maybe I can ask them a different question. That way, I know exactly what to say when I'm writing my letters to my neighbors or to all of California, right? And then after we write letters to different people, maybe saying something a little bit different just so that it makes more sense to them, then we really want to make sure that we're saying in our letter something that will make sense to them. So if I changed my letter, if it was about running down the hallways at school and I wanted maybe to write it to parents so that they could tell their children not to run at school, I might write my letter a little bit different because they don't run in the hall at school. their children do. So maybe a way I could change a letter would say, Dear parents, your children may be running at school, and I've noticed that it's a problem because we can get very hurt, right? And if I write a letter to the students, I would say, Dear students, we all, so because we're all students at Bella Vista, we all run at school, and that's a problem. So do you see how I changed it just a little bit depending on who's reading my letter? And then we want to make our letter better by imagining solutions to our problems. So I want to teach you that persuasive writers suggest solutions to the problems they see. So they include a fix-it idea to their letter so that readers know how they can help take action, right? So first, you think of exactly what you want the other person to do, and then you write it. So you could say, maybe we can, or we should. So do you remember how I added that to my letter? And I said, if you see this symbol on containers, throw them in recycling. So if I was writing a letter about the virus and I wanted to give someone a solution, at the end of my letter, I could say, maybe we can all wear masks and stay far away from others so that we don't spread the virus to our friends and family. That's giving your reader a solution to help the virus go away. And we also want to make sure while we're thinking about this problem that we are looking at our checklist that says we can be really convincing. All right, so we want to make sure that we have all of these things done and that we have a fix-it idea. And then after that, we want to make sure that we reread our letter so that we can make sure that we have everything in the checklist and that it makes sense based on who our reader is. And we want to make sure that we come up with all the solutions that we can think of. So if I just write one solution, do you think that that's helpful? Or if I gave maybe like 2 or 3 solutions to a problem, people might be like, oh, great, now I can do 1, 2, 3 things to try and help this problem. So I only gave 1 in my letter, but if I say, so my first one was, if you see this symbol on containers in your house, throw them in recycling. But if I said, if you don't know what you should recycle, you can look it up online. And maybe I can even give them a website for where they can find what needs to be recycled. Do you think that's another great solution? So we want to make sure that when we're writing our letters, we are writing to different people and that we say things in our letter that make sense to all of the readers, okay? And then we want to make sure that we have fix-it ideas and solutions in our letter for the problems that we are writing about, okay? So that's what I want you to be working on today, writing down the letter that you want to write and making sure that you add everything in this checklist and that you really give a few solutions to your problem. All right? I can't wait to read what you guys are writing, and I hope you have a great day on your writing. Bye!